Good morning, friends. Happy journal writing day. I have my paper right here and I'm ready to start writing in my journal. So the first thing that I need to do whenever I'm writing a story is I need to make sure that my name is somewhere on the paper or the book. If you have a notebook, your name can be on the front, but since I'm just using loose pieces of paper, I'm gonna write my name so that everybody knows that I am the author and I'm the illustrator. This is my work. So I'm writing my name at the top, Dominique. So my name's on the top of the paper, so now everyone will know this is my story. And now I'm gonna work on developing my journal entry for the day. So we've been focusing on 3 different story elements when we tell something. We're focusing on the characters, those are the people, the animals, or the things that talk in our story. Then we're focusing on the setting, that is the place, where is our story happening? And the third thing that we've been focusing on is the action, that is what happens. Now I want to add something else today. I also want to add how the characters are feeling. I'm going to add that today when I tell my story. So I'm going to draw my characters, my setting, the action, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna work on my characters' faces to show how they feel. So I'm gonna tell a story today about how I made bubble tea in my house. Now, my favorite drink in the whole world is bubble tea. I love bubble tea, but usually I go to the store, to a bubble tea place to get some. But since I'm stuck inside, I'm not able to go and get bubble tea, which made me a little bit sad. But luckily, I found a way to make bubble tea at my house, and it took a long time. I had to stir the little bubbles, the tapioca pearls, for like 2 hours so that I could make myself some bubble tea, but in the end, it was so delicious. So I'm going to draw my picture that shows my story. And the characters in my story are who? Who was making the bubble tea? It was me. I'm the main character in almost all of my stories. So I'm drawing myself, but right now I'm not gonna draw my face. I'm just gonna draw my body because I'm gonna add my feelings afterward. So I drew myself, that's my character, and then I'm gonna draw the setting. So where do you think I was when I was making bubble tea? Do you think that if I was stirring my bubble tea in a pot that I would be in the bathroom? No. Would I be in my bedroom? No. I was making bubble tea in the kitchen. So the setting of my story is inside of my apartment in the kitchen, and I am drawing my front door, the walls and the ceiling, I'm drawing my refrigerator. What are some other details that would show somebody that you're in a kitchen? So I have my front door, I have my refrigerator. There's also a sink in the kitchen. Draw the sink. And then my stove, my oven. Okay, so I finished drawing my setting. I have my kitchen, so the walls, the ceiling, and then I added details so that people would know that that was my setting. So the refrigerator, the sink, and the stove. Now I'm going to draw my action. So my action is that I was making bubble tea. So I drew a spoon and I drew a pot, the lid. Because the trick when you're making bubble tea is that you have to keep stirring it. You have to stir it for a long, long, long time. So I drew my spoon and my pot. That's my action. It's showing you that I was making bubble tea. And I'm gonna actually draw some bubbles in the bottom of my pot. They're down there. And then the last thing that I said I was adding today that's new is I was going to add feelings. So how do you think that I felt if for a long time I wasn't able to get bubble tea, but then finally I found a way to make it at home? I felt so happy and so excited. So I'm going to make my face super happy. So I have a big smile and I made my eyes like, because I was so happy and so excited to have my bubble tea. Now, I wrote my name, I drew my picture, and now the last step that we always have to do in our journals is to write our words. And I'm going to write, I made bubble tea, period. I was so happy, period. So today, instead of just writing one sentence, I'm writing two sentences. So you're going to see two periods. I made bubble tea, and then I put a period. But I'm adding something else. I'm adding my feelings. I was so happy, period. I'm going to put a box around the words that we know how to spell. So when we get to these boxes, we know we're not sounding out. We just remember those words. Now there's no box here, so I have to sound it out. Made, made, that's an M. Made, what do I hear at the end? Made, D is a D, so I'm writing a D here. And then in the middle, I hear another sound, made. So I'm gonna add that A. There's an E at the end. I made bubble, bubble. I hear a B at the beginning. Bubble, bubble. At the end I hear bubble, L. So I'm writing an L at the end. Then I'm going to fill in the letters that I know. So some of you might hear other letters. So B, B. There's B's in there. B, bull. T, 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 T. I hear the letter T, t. And then T. I is just the letter I. Was, that's a W. If you guys know how to spell was, I know some of you do. Just write the rest of the word. Was. So, that's an S. And after the S, we hear so, O. Happy, happy. What do we hear at the end? Happy, happy. I hear some P's in there. There's an A. Happy. So let's read my story. I made bubble tea. I was so happy. The end. So today, when you're writing in your journal, you're going to draw your picture, and I want you to include feelings. So make sure you go back and look at your people's faces. And if you told a story about how you were so angry, should you be smiling? No. If you wrote a story about how you were so angry, make sure you have an angry face. And if you wrote a story about how you were so happy, make sure you're not crying in your picture. So make sure your feelings match the story, and then write an extra sentence at the bottom that tells about your feelings. Good job journal writing. I will see you on Monday.